here, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. Today we are continuing to talk about all students can learn. That is our theme for the week. Yesterday we talked about Lane. Today we are talking about Marissa. So I want to know from you moms, does your teen take school seriously? Does your tween take school seriously? Drop me a yes or a no down below. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button, that star button, if this is relevant to you. And before I really get going and telling you all about Marissa and how I helped her, how I figured out how she learned and made it so she was more successful and enjoyed school more, do you know I have an event coming up in July called Fall into High School and Beyond? Would love to have you. Make sure to join my Facebook group where all the details will be posted. So, Marissa, number one thing that we worked on, number one reason she was brought to me for me to tutor her, was she didn't know her times table. She was a sixth grader, struggled with her times tables, and really struggling in math overall. So Lane yesterday also trouble with math, but with Marissa, it's times tables. So it was a matter of, okay, our teacher was a little concerned and what else was going to be coming up that year that she wasn't going to be ready for. So we figured out some ways to get her caught up on her homework, to help her with tests, and overall work on her schooling. So like yesterday, I want to kind of break down each individual thing, kind of how I helped her, what might be going on with your own teen, and you can learn from the experiences I had with Marissa. So times tables. Whole bunch of different ways to learn those. She told me in the beginning, I'm good to like the 6s and the 7s, but definitely those 9s through 12s are trouble spots. Well, after we started working together, we kind of realized, Marissa, you know these a little bit better than you think you do. So at first that's what she was concerned about is like, I'm not good at these. Well, it was just simply playing games on the computer, just kind of doing some flashcards together, even just working on homework together. And those kind of questions would come up, can you do the mental math of 6 times 7? Can you do the mental math of 9 times 4? And after we did enough of those, she realized, oh yeah, I can do those. So that's kind of my advice to you parents, that that's kind of step number one. Your teen says, I'm not good at it, I can't do it. See if they actually can't. See if they have kind of misconceptions about their own abilities. I can tell you we also practice computer games. And we found out that Marissa didn't like doing any kind of book work because I had some fun resources and things that, I thought were cool. They were colorful. The activities were kind of silly. I let her pick the ones that she wanted to do based on the skills she needed to work on. And we found out that she didn't dread them, but she didn't look forward to them. And so it's like, okay, well, if we can do this on paper, we can do this on the computer for the sake of review, let's do it on the computer. And then we figured out, okay, some of those games are fast paced because they're timed. Other ones are a lot slower. It's just a matter of, can you answer? Can you not? Doesn't matter the timing. Well, when we started doing the timed ones, she really got stressed out. She got overwhelmed and did way worse when fast and having to rush than when she could take a couple extra seconds to think it through. So same thing. That was her learning style. That was what worked for her. It didn't matter to me whether we did a time thing or a kind of more normal, just an electronic version of a worksheet, essentially. Whatever she needed to do, we were still covering the same information. So that's tip number 2. If you're trying to help your teen review, to practice, maybe that's something that's a problem that's going to help or hurt is the timing. Now, obviously, if your teen's studying for like the ACT or some kind of time test, you've got to include that time component into the studying. But in the beginning, start without it. Focus on the content and then the timing. Okay? So a couple other things I want to tell you about Marissa before I do. Know I'm live on Facebook. Know I'm live on YouTube. So I hope you're a subscriber. I hope you're a follower. There will be more students I want to share with you this week, as well as future videos all about school, all about learning. And if you have suggestions, you have questions, drop them below. Definitely want to help you help your teens as much as I can. So what else can I tell you about Marissa? Well, we worked on her math, we worked on the times tables, but then we also had to kind of involve some other study skills because she really wasn't taking school seriously. She's a 6th grader. So for us in our district, that means middle school. But grades, yeah, grades are grades. But unfortunately, fortunately, depending on where you stand on things, they weren't going to hurt her if she didn't get perfect scores. They weren't going to like prevent her from going into high school. And that meant she didn't necessarily care about the test on Friday. She didn't necessarily care about, oh, that homework I sort of understood, but I sort of didn't. So helping her realize, hey, I'm here. I'm going to help you. Why not let me help you? So if she had a question on homework, it was a matter of we went through each problem and I had her explain each problem to me, at least each problem of each type. Because if she's like, yeah, it's done, and then didn't even want to show it to me, it's like, okay, well, until I know that you know how to do it, we should probably double check it. So parents, I would make that very much a you can't force your teen to show, you can't force your tween. But for me as a tutor, that's one of the reasons to have a tutor is tutor can get away with a lot more of that because of the fact we're not mom, we're not dad. We are seen more as a help, as a resource, maybe even a friend, and not so much as a parent figure. And I got to tell you, too, another thing is the fact that she was super, super shy in the beginning. Super, super, didn't want to talk to me, was not even sure she wanted to be in the room by herself with me. And yet, by working with her, building up her confidence and her own abilities, let alone helping her realize, hey, you don't have to be unsure. We can make sure you actually know what's going on here. We can answer whatever questions. We can go over as many problems as you want and, talk about them in different ways. Because there were times she was sure she was just totally, totally wrong. And then she was totally right. And then sometimes the exact opposite. She was sure she'd done it and she was just totally off. Like we just had to start all over. And yet once we talked about where she went wrong, I could literally see in her eyes, hey, okay, I just would have done this instead of that. Boom, made sense. So this video, I just want to tell you about Marissa. I want to let you know that, hey, some things worked really well for her, some things didn't. And we had to figure out what she liked, what she didn't like, and figure out, okay, how can we cover the material? How can she learn the material in a way that is tailored to her personal learning preferences? So if you need some help with that, with your own teen, your own tween, be sure to reach out, East Cookie Tutoring, on Facebook, on YouTube. And remember, I have an upcoming event called Fall into High School. If you want some more details about that, if you want to be able to sign up, join me in my Facebook group. So click the link in the description so you can join us in the group and get details about that event in July. Thanks so much. I'll see you tomorrow for the next student. Bye.